When you shine light into the darkness, those hiding in the shadows don't like being exposed. That's particularly what our friend, independent journalist Terry Newsom, is finding out as we speak. He has made some very powerful enemies speaking truth to power in his reporting covering the porn in schools issue, as well as the border invasion. Some very powerful rhino enemies, that is, he says, sent officers to his door in today's Rhino Watch. Terry Newsom alleges that this man, DuPage County Sheriff Mandrick, sent state police to his door. Terry provided us with the stills taken by his Ring door camera of him speaking with officers outside of his house. Newsom says the sheriff bragged about it, saying, quote, "I'm sending state police to the Newsom house," and that he is putting him on a watch list. The sheriff has faced unsavory accusations in the past, including questions about the particular company he keeps. Here's an ABC Chicago story from 2018.
Meantime, Bibiano accuses Mendrick of taking campaign contributions from vendors hired by the county and taking money from a registered sex offender.
We do have a large amount of donors. I don't know the background of every single one of them, but that's news to me.
Now, this is not the only show of intimidation Newsom claims to have experienced. The outspoken journalist says that the sheriff also attempted to intimidate him at a local monthly GOP meeting, installing a hidden camera, as you see here in this picture. He also created packets for attendees, according to Newsom, that included a list of Newsom's immediate and extended family, including his elderly mother and even his nieces and nephews. Newsom says the packet also includes these mugshots of local sex offenders and what he believes is an attempt to try to suggest a connection between himself and sex offenders. According to Newsom, who wrote a 3-part series as a guest contributor for the Gateway Pundit, this is a larger problem in the state of Illinois that it has with Republicans in name only. And Terry Newsom joins us now. He's also the host of appropriately named Behind Enemy Lines podcast. And boy, Terry, you sure have some big enemies.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me back. I appreciate it. And thanks for exposing what's going on in Illinois. It's crazy because, we're all trying to fight the Democrats, but when you have rhinos that are embedded behind enemy lines, it makes it so hard to fight against the true enemies when you have those on the other side that are getting paid by corrupt Democratic unions, and then they're being bought to vote certain ways. And it just makes it almost impossible for us to win elections and take our county or state back.
So tell us about Sheriff Mandrick and the campaign that you say he's levied against you.
Yeah, so I've never had any personal issues with Sheriff Mendrick until I started calling out. There's a senator, our minority leader, John Curran, who took tons of money from multiple different unions, including some unions such as Luna and Casino that has ties to organized crime money that I think it's well publicized about that. Matter of fact, the casino just got a $1.6 million fine for having organized crime related contractors. So I started calling them out as a rhino. I also asked them to defend our children that go to the same school, Downers Grove South High School, about all the pornography and the sexualization of our kids. And our daughters were on the same volleyball team. And his answer to me is, "Oh, Terry, if I get involved, it becomes political. It becomes a distraction." Well, little did I know at that time when I asked him this, that he's being paid off by 2 unions in the city, two Illinois teachers unions. And these teachers unions are adamantly against parents speaking up. It says it on their website. They're against parents speaking up against porn. They're pro LGBTQ books, which is code word for porn, right? None of us are against gay kids. We're against the pornographic images that are being used under the guidance of gay children, and it should not be in the school. And all I asked him was, you please just say porn doesn't belong in the school. And he refused for years, and later found out he's being paid off by these teachers unions to betray his own daughter, my kids, the parents he represents, because he's more interested in taking money from them. And then in our district, we're in a D+3, meaning there's 3% more Democrats. So guys like Mendrick, guys like Curran are more interested in keeping the Democrats off their back than helping us.
Yeah, and were you surprised to see the state police show up at your house, or did you, because he had made these statements, you knew it was coming? And how did they treat you? Tell me what they said to you.
The police officers were awesome. And by the way, this is, I knew they were coming, right? Mendricks was saying to multiple people, even at fundraisers, that he was bragging about this, right? And matter of fact, I think somebody that's been on your phone show before, Tom Renz and Lara Logan, everyone knows Lara Logan. I actually shared this with them before. We were talking about some other things. I said, now I got Republican rhinos coming after me because I was calling them out for taking union money. And I was told they're going to come to my house 2 days later. Sure enough, they showed up in the house. The police officers were awesome, right? When I walked out on my Ring camera and I said, are you guys Illinois State Police? And they looked kind of surprised. They said, how do you know? I said, well, Sheriff Mendrick has been bragging to people he's going to send you guys to my house. And he said, do you know why we're here? I said, well, I have a podcast, and I called out Senator Curran. And I said, Curran, unless you start speaking up for our kids, I'm going to pummel you on my little podcast without many followers. Not physically. I meant on my show, and calling them out for taking money from these dirty unions and teacher unions. And then the police officer said, that's what we thought you meant, Mr. Newsom. You have a good day. And then I said, well, why aren't you guys going after, like, other criminals that are doing, other things? He said the higher ups sent us. We received an anonymous email. So it's kind of coincidentally that they got an anonymous email days after I was told that Mendrick was bragging about sending the police to my house.
That is odd. And tell me about these packets that had a list of your family members. I mean, that was a pretty extensive list, and mugshots of
Yes.
sex offenders. I mean,
Yeah.
this is kind of this seems so bizarre to me.
Yeah. You know what's ironic is the sheriff runs on his recidivism rate, helping people get certified in his county jail. I'm an ex-offender. 35 years ago, I got in trouble. I totally transformed my life big time. It took, 35 years to get where I'm at, and I'm proud of who I am. I'm not proud of where I was 35 years ago. I was a younger person. I got in trouble and pay my debt to society and change my life. But for a sheriff who claims to be about helping inmates and he does God's work, he came after me and tried to destroy me, my family, my reputation from 35 years ago, and bragged about it. He bragged about it. And then he hid that camera trying to get me to do something and react when I saw this stuff listing all my family members. And, I was on the phone when that camera was on me. I went to the Darien Police Department before that because Lara Logan kept telling me, Terry, you got to file. You can't trust this guy.
Yeah.
I filed a complaint saying I'm worried. I don't know if he's going to arrest me. It was announced that he was going to be at our meeting. And I was on the phone with Lara when that camera, I go, thank you for forcing me to go, because I was going to chicken out. I go, thanks for telling me to go. I go, this is what they did. They got a camera. And Lara's like, you sit there and smile, Terry. You just smile. They want a reaction from you. Don't give it
That's
to
why
them.
I
And
love her.
just sit there and smile. And I'm grateful she gave me the kind of courage, because I felt uncomfortable going to file a report against
sure.
the sitting sheriff. But I think it's backfired because many people, they were very upset that he would go to this extent and brag about it. He's sending text messages telling people, go with your drug dealer friend, or he's saying I'm a cocaine addict. 60s. I was never a cocaine addict. And this guy who's supposed to be about people's changing their lives, it's okay because I call his friend a rhino, that he tries to destroy my life. He tries to embarrass my mother, my daughter, everyone, over calling his friends rhinos. And actually, everything I said about Curran is true. You can look it up. It's all true. And it's more ironic is that they put the sex offender things in there. Well, he took money from a guy that's on the sex offenders registry list. He also has assaults, impersonating a police officer. He had 5 years to come out and say, this stuff isn't true, after ABC brought it to his attention. In the Gateway Pundit story last week, he had the opportunity in email, and it's documented. You want to deny this stuff? He didn't deny it. So he took this money, he kept this money, and then he's trying to come and attack me and put this fake sex offender stuff in there when he's the guy that actually took money from a sex offender.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, you were never a sex offender. That was not the charges. You were not a sex.
No, it's not.
Right.
It's embarrassing to even. He did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying to try to make people. I was never accused, alleged, charged. Ever. I mean, even on a joke, ever. My whole life, ever.
Yeah. So what happens now, Terry?
So thanks to shows like yours, thanks to Gateway Pundit, we're going to get the truth out there. This guy's supposed to try to run for office. I don't think any sheriff, a Democrat or Republican, should have the opportunity to stay in law enforcement when you use your office to weaponize it against your own citizens, especially something as minute as, calling out a rhino. Or, I mean, I didn't even know the guy. He was sick to come after me as the muscle for the rhinos who are taking money from all these different unions, and they didn't want me to expose it. Maybe they should look into the Senator Curran He should spend time there finding out this union money that he's taking, tied to organized crime. Is that why he's silent? Is that why he's voting with the Democrats? Is that why he won't defend his own daughter?
Yeah. Terry Newsom, you're one brave soul, and we appreciate your courage. You can keep up with his story by watching his podcast on Rumble or YouTube, Behind Enemy Lines, and you can follow him on X at Terry Newsom 357. Stay safe, my friend. I'm worried for you.
Thanks.
But I appreciate you. I'll be praying for you.
Thank you.